But we do got to spend a couple minutes talking about Coach John Beam.
Absolutely.
He was a coach at Laney, I believe Skyline before
Skyline
that.
High School for a long time.
Yeah, and he was Weston's head coach when Weston played over at Laney. So I knew Coach Beam. I didn't know him well. Had him on the radio before, and just a sweetheart of a guy. Absolute sweetheart of a guy. And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure most do by now, he was murdered this past week by someone who walked into his office and just shot him. Just shot him dead. And 66 years of age. And it was just so tragic, so senseless, obviously, as most, if not all those things are. But for someone who you don't coach at the junior college level for fame or for money, you want to help kids. You want to help kids. And he sent so many people to the NFL, and I'm sure he's helped countless others that didn't even go on to play football. Maybe some of them played college. Maybe some of them just got jobs. But I know this, from the time I met him, he cared about those kids. That was his mission. You could tell that was his mission, was to do right by those kids. And to see something like this happen to someone like that who gave his life to that community, those schools, and those kids is just absolutely heartbreaking.
You know, it's what he did goes so far beyond the football field.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of I've known him for 30 years, and I knew him when I was coaching at San Jose State, coached against him when I was at Monte Vista, and terrific coach. I mean, obviously a terrific football coach, but an even better person. And he took Skyline and he got every player in Oakland that wanted to go play for him, and they were a powerhouse. And it wasn't just because he was a great coach, it was because what he did for them. You know, he did so many things in the classroom for them to guide them and take the right classes so that they could move on to college, to make sure they were on the right track, not doing the wrong things. And he had a powerhouse program there, and then decided to go to Laney and take his approach there, and it just carried over. And the kids wanted to go play for him. I had a lot of players from Monte Vista that when they went to junior college, they didn't go to DVC. They ended up going to Laney because they wanted to play for him and what he did. And the whole city of Oakland has benefited for so long from him. And it's just a travesty. And why this would happen, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was nothing but good that came from John Beam. He was always so welcoming to everybody. You know, I was coaching at San Jose State, and there'd be coaches from Michigan, from USC, from all over the country, big-time programs, and he would treat everybody the same. And that's a sure sign of a good person. And he would spend so much time with you talking about the type of kid they were.
Yeah.
And you could watch film and see how good a player they were, but he had so much insight onto their personal lives and what made them tick. And it's a tremendous loss for the whole city of Oakland, for the whole Bay Area, for all of football.
Yeah.
And it's just awful.
And what I know about him is he's one of those coaches that wasn't concerned about you as a football player. It's concerned about you as a person. Like, he wanted to know about you as a person. How's your family doing? How your parents doing? How your siblings doing? How's class going? Do you need anything? Anything I can help with? Like, he was that type of guy. It wasn't, hey, let's just see if I can get you a scholarship. Let's see if I can make your life better. Let's see if we can get you here and I don't want to say make you a better person, but open up avenues for you, to give you different opportunities to maybe fulfill some of the things that you want to fulfill, whether that be football or other things. And always had a smile on his face too. It just, again, people like that coach. And look, a lot of these coaches and coaches coach for a bunch of different reasons. But again, when you're coaching junior college football, you're doing it for the kids. When you're coaching high school football, you're doing it for the kids for the most part. And it just, you realize this was massive news because of the Last Chance U that was on Netflix. So many people knew about him and his story and about Laney Junior College. And there's so many professional athletes that have reached out, not just football players, people that were in Oakland that knew of him and knew the impact he had on Oakland and those kids. It's just, you don't get a lot of guys like that who are so altruistic and so selfless that they're going to do something to make sure they get as many kids opportunities as humanly possible. And that's what he did. And to lose someone like that, even though he wasn't coaching anymore, is an athletic director position. But even though they're gonna that loss will be felt. It will be felt on the campus. It will be felt in the community because of all the good he did for so many people while he was there.
Well, and he could have retired years ago. At 66 years old, he had accomplished so much, but he enjoyed what he was doing, and he loved helping. He didn't want to coach anymore. He didn't want to put that kind of time in, but he wanted to help kids, and he stayed on as the athletic director at 66 years old when he could have been off doing his thing, but he wanted to keep helping. And the city of Oakland was so important to him. He'd been there his whole life. He raised his family there, and so he wanted to give back. And it's a senseless thing. And we know Steve talks about gun violence all the time, and it's just senseless that it had to happen, and when it could have been avoided. And I feel for his family and the whole community.
Absolutely. Condolences to everyone that was directly affected by this, but I think I can speak for a lot of the Bay Area and certainly a large portion of Oakland. You're going to be missed. You're absolutely going to be missed. Your attitude, the way you approach your job, and the way you dealt with the kids, and again, that's there's not a lot of people that have a lot of time for that. And he was one that had more than enough time for everybody that needed his time. So to his family, to his friends, to everyone, Weston played for him, to all his former players, I'm sorry for your loss. And for all of us that got a chance just to know him a little bit, and this one hurts. It hurts that something like this happened. And Coach John Beam, you're going to be missed. You will not be forgotten. I guarantee you that. So I wanted to make sure that we talked about that because I knew Bergie knew him. I know him, and just a wonderful, wonderful human being.